Are challenges really just blessings in disguise? Find out right here on The Leadership Voice. Welcome to The Leadership Voice. I'm your host, Jay Barbuto. Today's show features the theme Grit, a tribute to people that have overcome adversity and demonstrated the perseverance and resiliency to succeed. Today's guest is super lawyer and best-selling author Elizabeth Yang, an amazing attorney, entrepreneur, and community member. Elizabeth graduated from Berkeley when she was 19 and has achieved successes far beyond her years. This despite very humble beginnings. Please welcome good friend, great person, Elizabeth Yang.
Hi, everyone. Thank you so much for having me here today, Jay. It's such an honor to be featured on The Leadership Voice.
Absolutely. Elizabeth, we're so excited that you could join us and share your amazing story with us about grit and perseverance. And so we're really excited. Elizabeth, if it's okay, maybe we could start by talking a little bit about some of what you've had to endure in your early upbringing. Could you talk about some of the main challenges that you had, that you faced early on?
Absolutely. I would be happy to share. So growing up, I was raised by a single mother. My father actually passed away when I was only 3 years old. And my mom, being the typical Asian tiger mom, had to endure a lot of struggles growing up because when my father passed away, she had never worked a day in her life. And all of a sudden was thrown into the situation where she had my brother and I to raise. So she had to figure out how to earn money while raising us. And it was definitely a struggle growing up. I went to 3 different elementary schools, 2 different middle schools before finally settling down in the 7th grade. So even though it was very unstable and every time I felt like I made new friends, I would move again and have to make new friends. These challenges I've learned is what's brought me created me into being a very adaptable and resilient person, that I am today. And without these experiences, I don't think I would be as strong as I am today.
No, it sounds amazing. And how did you do so well in school? I mean, you obviously had some great academic performance really throughout schooling.
Well, Asian tiger moms, A- are like C's to them. So I remember going to my English teacher in high school and telling her, can you not give me this minus after the A because my mom will not be happy about that. And I was really close to getting an A instead of the A-. So my English teacher agreed to give me some extra credit assignments to complete to raise that A- up to an A.
And so you had very high expectations growing up.
Very high expectations, yes. And my mom, she's an amazing human being. She dedicated herself, her life to raising me and my brother. And so it was super important for us to make her proud. And so I would say a lot of the things I accomplished were not even for myself. It was just to be able to see a smile on her face and be able to satisfy her expectations.
And so you've had to overcome quite a few things. Could you talk about how you found the strength or the energy or the perseverance to really make it through those difficult, challenging times?
Just because just from my struggles growing up, that's what created a lot of the resilience that I have today. Unlike, some kids that are fed on a silver spoon, we didn't always get what we wanted. If we wanted something, we would have to work hard for it and earn it. And there was nothing that was just taken for granted. So having those habits at a young age, we were able to carry that into our current lives. And even today, with the success I have, I don't take anything for granted. I'm a mom now and I have 2 kids of my own. And I tell them everything you want in life, you got to work hard at. Hard work is everything and you got to earn it. Otherwise, things don't come free in life.
And so you learned at a very early age to work hard and really pursue the things that you want And I think that ethic has really stayed with you, hasn't it?
It has. And I mean, coming back to the theme of today's episode about how challenges are blessings in disguise, like if it wasn't for these struggles growing up, I, again, would not be the person I am today. And, another huge challenge that I went through in life was my own personal divorce. So I used to be an electrical engineer. That was my major in Berkeley. And when I became an attorney, I practiced intellectual property law. It wasn't until I went through my own personal divorce, which lasted 4 years long, that I ultimately got 4 years of family law education from my personal experience, got really good at it. And now my practice thrives more on family law cases than on IP cases. So I look back and I was like, you know what? This whole challenging ordeal that I went through is indeed a blessing in disguise when I look back at it. If you asked me back then, how is this divorce a blessing? I would tell you, no, it's definitely not. But when we look back at our challenges, we're able to see that they are blessings. So when I go through challenges now in life, I remind myself this is a blessing. Even if I can't see how it's a blessing, eventually I'll know that there's a reason for it happening.
So, Elizabeth, it sounds like you've really found ways to overcome adversity, and it seems like you've got a mindset now that is ready to tackle whatever comes your way. And it's just sounds so impressive to me, because so many people give up in the face of adversity, but it seems like you just get going when that happens.
I think because of my lessons learned and how I've really come to see that adversities are challenges, I now embrace challenges, because without them, we wouldn't have the opportunity to grow. If life was just like a flat line every day, everything stayed the same without the ups and downs, it would be really boring, and there really wouldn't be much opportunities to better ourselves and improve ourselves. So in order to really appreciate the ups we have, we got to be able to also appreciate the days that we have downs.
And so going through life and having ups and downs and overcoming adversity when adversity comes, do you find that because you've overcome things in the past, it has you more and more ready to overcome adversity when it does occur, like today and in the future?
Absolutely. Like they say, what doesn't kill you makes you stronger. So we want more of those things that, make us tougher, but doesn't kill us, because that's how we, grow and become the strong people we are.
No, that's great. So Elizabeth, growing up, going through the years, it was like you've described, there were a lot of struggles, there were a lot of challenges, there were always a lot of moments where you wondered, am I going to make it? Is this going to work? When did you realize, okay, I'm going to make it?
Every day, and even now, there's not like a day that I'm like, oh, I'm sure I'm going to make it. There's no challenges that are ever going to come my way for the rest of my life. It's actually a day-to-day experience. Every day I still experience challenges. I have stuff that comes up, whether it's with my kids, with my family, with my clients or business. Things come up every day. That's just a normal part of life. But how I respond to it on a daily basis is what's important. So for me, it's not about knowing I've made it. It's just being able to have the strength and the ability to continue responding to everything that's thrown my way in a way that I think will have the best result.
Yeah, and it sounds like that keeps you focused and it keeps you energized along the way.
It does. Yes. That's what makes life fun.
Absolutely. So what advice would you have for someone else that might be going through tough times or difficult times? What advice can you give them?
Well, the biggest advice is to keep in mind that these challenges are happening for a reason, and to just really embrace them, because there is a light at the end of the tunnel, and you will find out what the blessing is eventually.
No, that's terrific. Elizabeth, we do have a few questions from our audience. So why don't we, if it's okay with you, we'll go ahead and see what questions we have.
Yeah, absolutely.
So our first question comes from Ashley Hayden from Fullerton, California. And Ashley asks, where can you find a mentor when you do not have a good family support system?
So that's a great question. For many of us, we have a great family and friends that we can count on. But when your family support system may not be the best, look for organizations out there. There's a lot of organizations and nonprofits like the Center for Leadership, where there's a ton of successful people and folks who would be happy to be mentors in any student's lives. I believe the Center for Leadership has a shadow program that allows students to actually go to professionals' workplaces and see exactly what those professionals are doing firsthand in order to learn directly, and build that relationship. And that's just one of many organizations out there that offer these opportunities.
And so really just continue to seek those opportunities and never expect the opportunities to necessarily come to you.
Absolutely. If you don't ask, you won't get it.
Okay, terrific. So we do have a second question. And our second question comes from Wesley Smith from Irvine. Wesley asks, is there anything you wish you did differently?
Another great question, but this episode is focused on the challenges. And so looking back, I would not actually say I would want anything to be different, because I love the way that my life has turned out. If I go back and I say, let's say one of my challenges was my divorce, and I wish I had, never met my ex-husband. Well, all the benefits that came out of it would also have been erased. I would not have my two beautiful children that I have today. So all of these challenges, like if I went back and I said, oh, I wish my father hadn't passed away when I was 3. Well, I definitely would not be the same person I am today. I may not be a business owner. I may not be successful. I may not have graduated college early when I was 19. So all of these things would have been erased. And so I wouldn't want to erase any of the negative stuff, because the positive aspects would also be erased.
It seems like that becomes the outcome of having grit throughout your life.
Absolutely.
It makes you stronger and better as new opportunities and challenges arise. So we have one final question. Our third question comes from Juanita Gutierrez, and she asks, how do you manage your time so well with so many responsibilities?
Another great question. So for me, there's this YouTube video called The Secret, and I watched that maybe about 15 years ago. And one of the secrets is the magic of writing things down, not just typing it out, or putting it on your notepad in your phone, but actually pen to paper, writing things down. And so everything that I do on a daily basis, I write down. I'm old school. I have my daily planner that I write down everything I do. And I write down my New Year's resolutions on there. And I actually have 2 pages of goals and things I want to accomplish taped on my bedroom door, where I can see as I walk by every day. And they say, when you write things down, they just manifest. It's magic. I don't know how to explain it, but it just miraculously happens. So whenever I go and look at those 2 pages, I probably look at it once a month or so. I'll be like, wow, like these things that I had no idea how to make it happen, they just happened because I declared it into the universe.
Elizabeth, those are wonderful answers. And I want to thank you so much for being on today's show.
Thank you, Jay, for inviting me back to speak on the Leadership Voice. It's always an honor.
It really is. And it's always wonderful to be able to share your wisdom with our audience and really share your story, which is an amazing one.
Well, I hope I will be invited back again soon.
I'm sure we will. Absolutely. So today we discussed grit and overcoming great odds to achieve some success. Join us each episode of the Leadership Voice, and please like and share our videos with those you know. We are changing lives here, and you are part of that. I'm Jay Barbuto, and we'll see you next time right here on the Leadership Voice.